And then I got another question. You know, people ask me all the time. Actually, I got in an argument the other day with a friend of mine. She asked me a question about Abraham. You know, I didn't answer it to her liking, or I really, you know, she's like, well, what is Abraham? Where does Abraham come from? Blah, blah, blah. I didn't really want to answer it because I don't need to answer it because I know and I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But she wanted to have an argument about it because, you know, I kind of mess around with her a little bit about her Catholicism. So I just, you know, I mess with her a little bit because, you know, she's talking about how she's religious and all this stuff, but then, you know what I mean? I'm just messing with her, okay? It's coming from the heart. But for her, she's really trying to stick it to me, you know? Why? And so we got an argument about it the other day. So I'm just asking you, what's the best way to explain what I'm doing here? What, you know? Like, what, you know what I mean? Seriously, what would I say? I'd say, well, who's Abraham? Where does it come from? I say it's just a source being. It's just the inner being. A woman's able to channel it, and you're able to speak with her and have your fun and da-da-da-da-da.
I'm going to come back to how if we were standing in your physical shoes, we would explain this process.
Okay.
But before we do, we want to address the other subject first because it's really more important and a lot of fun to hear too.
Okay.
We were visiting with a woman the other day who is a singer and songwriter, really very good. And she was talking about, as you are, how to match her goals more efficiently, to get where she wants to go faster, how to feel better along the way, how to set aside her fears and the trepidation that so often comes over her when she really gets focused upon her desire. It seems that her fears come up proportionately. And she was talking about how she has reached an age where her agent will say to her, well, you know, you're not exactly the age that people are getting started. In other words, you're getting pretty far up there in years. And she says, so what do you do with something like that? What do you do when someone hits you with something that stings and hurts like that? And we said, here's the most important thing for you to hear. The reason that this agent is doing that to you is because you are wanting success that you don't feel that you're getting. And you're sort of laying it at his door. Your attitude to him is, why aren't you getting me a record contract? Why aren't you getting me better opportunity to sing? And in his defensiveness, he's coming back at you with that. We said, if you wouldn't do that, he wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
And that's what we're wanting to say to you. If you wouldn't do that, she wouldn't do that. In other words, you're messing with her, she's messing right back. In other words, you said, no, I was light and easy. I'm just toying with her, and she jabbed back at me really, really hard. And we say, well, you know, when you make someone defensive, don't be surprised when they defend themselves.
Yeah.
And then when you make someone defensive and they defend themselves, and then you defend yourself, and then before long you've got the Middle East.
Yeah.
In other words, it's not anything that is different from that. So what we would say to anyone is, first of all, I'm understanding that there are many roads that lead to fulfillment and well-being. And anybody that's on any path that's working for them, I am for it. If someone is living a joyful life experience and they are tapped in and flowing source energy and feeling good in the moment, people are not running around trying to tell them how to make their life better.
Yeah.
What causes you to want to tell her how to make her life better is she's complaining about how her life is going. In other words, she's unhappy with this or with that. And you, as a born teacher, take that as a request for information. That's part of it. And so Esther has noticed that the other day, she was in a mode that was less than connected, and she was sort of complaining about something. And as Jerry began offering solutions, his solutions felt antagonistic to her. And then, in light of what we've been talking about here today, she stopped and thought, but if I hadn't said that, he wouldn't have said that. Which made her realize that she has total control of every relationship that she has. As you become aware that people are responding to you, just as you are responding to them, and then one of you, and it will be you, stops and says, wait a minute, I can control what I put out, therefore I can control what I get back. And we're not just talking about no longer messing with her. We're talking about thinking the best thoughts about her. We promise you that when you line up your energy so that you are in your virtual reality practicing the very best feeling thoughts about her, you will evoke only the very best feeling words from her. And any of you who are getting anything from anybody that is not to your liking, it is your doing, no exception.
Okay.
No exception. We know it's easier to make it their doing to a point. But then after a while, you feel out of control in your life. Oh, they're doing this, and they're doing this, and they're doing this, and they're doing this. And you can't control what they do. You can control what you do. And with far less practice than you think. Oh, the way relationships begin to evolve. And so what we would do, the way we would approach or try to explain from your connected state of being, first of all, that's the rule of thumb. Tell her everything that you can tell her that she's willing to listen to as long as you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on. Okay. And if you're not, don't open your mouth.
Okay.
And when you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on, the kinds of things that come out of you are things like, everybody has their own special path, and there are a lot of different ways. I believe that there are so many ways that lead to enlightenment and fulfillment, and this is just something that at least for now is feeling pretty good to me. I don't have any big stake in it. I'm not trying to convince others. There's no movement or no following. This is just something that is feeling good to me, and just leave it light like that.
Okay.
And if they're wanting more, they will ask more in specifics. Nothing is more uncomfortable to someone than to have somebody answer a question that they haven't asked. When Esther's driving and she doesn't know the way, and she will say, which way should I go? And Jerry offers it. Oh, it is sweet music to her ears. But when he tells her where to go and she hasn't asked, it's sort of like, I knew that. Did you think I didn't know that? And his problem is he doesn't know if she knows. In other words, he's just trying to avoid another U-turn in the big rig. You all find your way. In other words, when you get into this place of feeling good, then you have this dance with people that is life-giving.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And that you practice in your virtual reality. Okay. So in this situation, if this is a person who is important to you, one day we were talking to some friends about visualization, about creating a sort of virtual reality, which would then conjure a vibration. And this person said, well, I'm not very good at that because I cannot imagine. And we said, can you remember? And this person said, well, yes, I guess. And we said, do you remember where you live? Do you remember where you parked your car? Do you remember how the furniture is arranged in your living room? Do you know where you keep your wallet when you are living at home? And of course, all of those images came to his mind, and we said, you can imagine, because none of that is here right now in this moment, and yet images are coming forth in your mind, so you know how to imagine. Imagery is only about telling a story, and maybe it's a verbal story, maybe it's a story that brings pictures in your mind. It doesn't make any difference. Imagery is about expressing something that is not happening here in this moment. And so what we are wanting to encourage you to begin doing is use the power of visualization, a virtual reality game, so to speak, where you get to make things just as you want them to be, and in doing so, you conjure a vibration. Now, what we've noticed, because some of you have been doing something like this for some time, some of you have been doing what we've called creative workshops or imagination for a while. But the thing that we want you to hear that may be different for you here today than what you've been doing before is that when you are working in your virtual reality, you make everything as you want it to be. You would not take a broken relationship into your virtual reality and fix it. You would just take a perfect relationship. In other words, you would not build a house in your virtual reality and then notice that it had holes in the roof and then tear the roof off and replace it. You would just build the perfect house in your virtual reality. And we think that is the thing that is tripping so many of you up, because so often you go to your creative workshop to try to fix something that is broken. And then you drag that energy into it, which causes your virtual reality moment in time not to be any more pure in vibration than what you're actually living. Something that really trips you up is that you have been trained to believe that you should face facts, that you should tell the truth, that you should tell it like it is. And what we're really wanting you to hear is that when you are seeing it, remembering it, imagining it, telling it like it is, then you are offering a vibration like it is, and you're not doing something about changing anything. In other words, all that you're doing is practicing the same vibration that is bringing you to the same place that you were before. And so, as you begin to utilize this virtual reality in the powerful way that we are offering it to you. You will take 15 or 20 minutes, maybe 2 or 3 times a day, on subjects that are important to you, and you will jump in and imagine something just as you want it to be. And if you find your mind wandering into the arena or area of trying to fix something that is broken, just laugh about it and leave the virtual reality and say, I'll come back later and I'll be as pure as I can be. In other words, dart in, have fun, and then get out before you get negative. Dart in, have fun, and then get out before you get negative. Try to contain yourself. Try to control yourself. Try to keep from trying to fix anything in virtual reality. And in time, what will begin to happen to you is your virtual reality vibration will become more dominant than your reality, or you're telling it like it is. And as that teeter-totter or weight and balance tips, then you will begin to see manifestations coming that reflect your newfound vibration. Do you believe us when we say that you are more electrical than anything else? Are you beginning to get it that you are vibrational beings? Do you understand that your emotions are your indications of vibrations? And can you not just really feel that if you could get into a virtual reality where you conjure some images that really thrill you, that this is practicing a different vibration than you might have been practicing before? And can you get it that with a little bit of concentrated practice, that you could activate a vibration within you that's different than anything that's been there before? And then can you see how your life can change? We want you to hear anything that you want. There is nothing off limit. Anything that you want. All you got to do is conjure it until the conjured image dominates your vibration. And when the conjured image that pleases you dominates your vibration, everything in the universe will shift. Everything will shift in order to help you to achieve the manifestation of this that you've conjured. It is law. It absolutely has to be. In fact, it is being in every moment of your experience. Everything that you are living is the perfect reflection of your vibrational countenance. So the only reason that we're even talking about it at all with you here today is because we think you're like our friend who in the 2nd grade or the 1st grade or yesterday or somewhere along your trail had something happen to you that caused a knee-jerk reaction response from you that you've begun to talk about, that you've continued to talk about, that has caused you to offer a vibration so that you're holding yourself in places that maybe you want to be. There's a lot of that going on, and maybe you don't want so much to be. So when we talk about cleaning up your vibration, what we're really saying is get into the mode of practicing so much thoughts that feel good that they dominate. It is not a difficult thing to do, but it does take some practice. You've been practicing the other, in most cases, without knowing that you're doing it. This will be so much faster. In other words, if you've been practicing a thought of vulnerability or insignificance, or inappropriateness, or unworthiness for a period of time, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. In a month or two, you can shift that vibration entirely by saying, inner being, I know you're in there, and I'm going to align to you. So what does that mean in practical terms? I'm going to feel good. That's all it means. Because if you feel less than good, you're not aligned to who you really are. When you're angry, you're misaligned. When you're fearful, you're misaligned. When you're fretful, when you're tense, when you're grouchy, when you're defensive, when you're blameful, when you're guilty, you're misaligned. You're not who you are. So that negative emotion is such a gift because it says it's all right that you're not aligned. Because the source energy that is I will never stop flowing to you. And there's no risk that you're misaligned because you can never get out of the range of source energy. But it is unnatural that you feel this way. It is natural that you feel buoyant. It's natural that you feel eager. It's natural that you feel good. It's natural that you feel love. It's natural that you feel abundance of all things that you consider to be good. We are eager to visit with you about anything that is important to you. It is our expectation that together, this group of deliberate creators will take thought into places that it has not been before. We know that we will find new corners of the universe to express and delight one another. So be easy about this. Sometimes someone else will ask your question better than you will.